Hi there, Short Points family. October 8th.
Are you taking a selfie?
I'm sorry, I was taking a video.
I was going to get in it.
Oh, well, you want to be in the video, you can.
Have a good one.
Thanks. So, about 4 o'clock or so, and we're here at Earth in Lakehurst, New Jersey. There we go, there's a sign. They got a nice big American flag that's wrapped around itself, but that's not really their fault. We're here to see if they respect what that flag says. There's the building, and the beautician would be more than happy to be in the selfie. As always, since we're not going inside, this is on a longer leash, but I am joined with Oliver Freedom Doggo. And here we are. I'm going to stop filming till we cross the street, just so that this way I don't kill myself. Alright, see ya. Now, Oliver Freedom Doggo gave me the look, saying that he wanted to go for a walk, which we're going to be sitting out front of this place for a little bit. Why not? So down the road is a place called B&K Hydraulics, and there's also some sort of laboratory. There's Freedom Doggo doing a sniff and a snuff. We don't really come to this neck of the woods very often. Nothing against it. Lakehurst is a fine little town. It's just one of those towns where I come from. You just kind of pass through. Come on, we're gonna go this way. B&K Hydraulics, hydraulic fittings, hoses, fabrication, Lakehurst, New Jersey. There's their number if you need any hydraulic stuff here. No, buddy, we're not going inside. 117 Union Avenue. What is this lady doing? Don't back up. Oh, you're cool. You're just so cool. You sat there, you waited. And here we got a little sudsy laundromat. Yeah, I love where I live. The one problem that I have is that we don't have any laundry in our units. Soda suds. Come on, Bubba. Oh, look at this. Earth and Ivy has a drive-through, so you can pick up your weed on the go. Now, because of the state that we're in, and it's New Jersey, I'm also doing a 420 audit. I'm a medical marijuana patient for my RSD, gastroparesis, and other comorbidities, including very bad headaches. So my medical marijuana card, unlike recreational marijuana, says that anywhere I could smoke a cigarette, I could smoke weed. I'm not driving today, so I don't have to worry about anything like that, about being intoxicated. But thank you, dude. Either way, I could do it, and I want to see how they feel about it. There's an exposed phone block. That's not quite safe. Yeah, it's tinted. Hi, doggy. Where's the front door of this? No. Notice not an entrance. However, I think the front door is on the other side. So that's a restaurant. Gotta pee? I get it. We're gonna go find ourselves a nice little spot on the sidewalk over here. Come here. So now I could do that, and I could see anybody coming in. We are clearly established on the sidewalk, and we'll see what happens. This place does seem to be kind of busy for the middle of the day, which is good. So maybe we'll get some activity one way or the other. I think those girls over there are doing whatever, but I'm not going to give them a hard time. There's security. Alright, so security knows that I'm here. Man, now that I'm monetized, please watch, like, comment, and subscribe. I love you, Short Points family. And just like fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. $4.20 audit. There's my bowl, some nice fresh greens. It is Dos Aldos. Oh, dude, you're going in the... You just went in the wrong way in a one-way. Now, I don't know if they've called the cops that quick, but that might be a cop right there. Now, in a perfect world, none of the customers would freak out, because this should be treated no differently than, well, buying alcohol. Although if you do something like, they should. I know the GPS even brings you in that way too.
Oh, does it?
On mine it did. You know, I'm using Google Maps. I was coming down whatever road this is, Main Street, and it said to make a right in here. And I looked at it real quick because I showed the street, but no, it said turn in right here as if this was the entrance.
You know, I turned and then I saw the arrows and I was like, I'm not going to back out. You know, no one comes.
No harm, no foul. Hello. Alright, how you doing? I would like to think that this place is just going to pass and there's not going to be any sort of intervention, but who knows? Although I will say this, I could have picked a less windy day to do a 420 audit. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on you, seeing what's going on. Now, part of the reason why I'm doing a 420 audit, but let me take a hit. This is the protest the way that New Jersey rolled out its medical marijuana and adult use marijuana programs. Long story short, when it was medical only, we had maybe 24 or so different dispensaries that we could go through throughout the entire state just for medical patients, and we didn't pay any taxes, all that stuff. Now, since adult use kicked in, all the medical places now sell adult use, which is not a problem. All right, there's a menu issue because sometimes they don't understand that when we have to order off the wrong menu. First of all, we're not supposed to have to order off the wrong menu. All the stuff's supposed to be on the medical menu, not the adult use menu, number one. But number two, the pricing's different, and discounts and all that other stuff, so that doesn't trickle over, and they still try charging you tax because they don't think about it. But all these adult use places, they will give you a sometimes up to 20% discount, but for anything that's on sale you can't use it, and they artificially inflate everything, so when the pricing is still high but almost normal, they think that they're giving you a deal, but you can't stack anything. All the places are recreational, really don't do their medical patients a service. Now, I have heard of a few dispensaries that will offer promotions, like if you pick it up before noon, that you'll be able to get a discount of 30%, sometimes 40%, but the whole discount is off of the full retail price. So how much are you really saving? Plus, we still have to pay taxes on it. I thought that we'd be exempt, that once we have the medical marijuana card, that we wouldn't have to pay taxes on this stuff even at a rec dispensary, but either I'm wrong or there's a lot of shady business practices going on here. Either way, medical patients are paying more than we should. Senator Nicholas Scutari, who was once an ally that helped get the medical marijuana system in place way back in 2010 and that opened up in 2012, is decisively against expanding medical marijuana patients' rights, like not collecting taxes at recreational dispensaries and not allowing home grow for medical patients. His excuse is that we need to give the recreational dispensaries time to get on their feet and time to get themselves established financially, which, well, they're raking in millions of dollars each month. They're not doing so bad. Then Captain Dippy decided that his new plan was to allow one plant for a medical marijuana patient. That's not good enough. I say we need 12 plants, do a 12 and 12. 12 mature flowering plants and 12 babies growing. Alright, and however many clones don't count. Either way, that would be enough. You could limit it to 4 patients per household, a maximum of 48 plants, but that would be highly unlikely in almost every situation. Just like other states do it, because he's worried about the black market. Dude, the black market is crushing the retail market, either recreational or adult use, for the simple fact that, well, I saw today Full Tilt Labs, which is supposed to be the best weed in New Jersey, they're charging $540 for an ounce of weed. That is insane. For $540, I could get a quarter pound of some good stuff, or, well, I could go on vacation. Maybe not far. It'll only be a vacation to, like, Pittsburgh. But either way, I wouldn't feel like I'm being SA'd. Because that's how you feel at $500+ an ounce. That's like booger sugar pricing almost. I don't know. Probably isn't, because that stuff sounds expensive. Never touched it. I've seen it, but never touched it. I was born with a heart condition that has healed itself, but, well, when I still have to get checked out mandatory, it's just one of those things that you don't play with. I've never stuck a needle in my arm. I've never sniffed anything that wasn't intentionally to go in me. I've sniffed like flowers and stuff. What does security dude have to say?
How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not bad. Recording?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Checking things out?
Yeah, just gathering content for a story.
Okay. Hey, puppy. Alright, have a good day.
Thank you so much. Now I guess we're going to give him a few minutes. Let's see what he does. Uh-oh. These girls having an impromptu sesh over there in that black SUV. Sorry, girls. Obviously they work here. I don't know what they do here. in a place like this, yeah, I'd have to take a little break, get my mind right. I don't fault them for that. I'm gonna blur them out, or at least blur their faces out when I post this. So this way, hello. Because I don't want them to get in trouble. But good for them. Look at you. I was just about to show him how cute you were all doing the doggo donut. And you get up. And you get up. Now, I will say this. Recording today got a little held up for the simple fact that Oliver, Freedom Doggo, loves to play in puddles, as you can see on the short I just uploaded. And if he sees a puddle that's deep enough to split splash in, well, he can't pass up that opportunity. So I had to wait a little bit of time for him to dry off, and then I towel dried him the rest of the way. But it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. We go to the beach all the time, and he doesn't like going in the ocean. Now, if we're at a lake or a pond or something like that, he won't go swimming, but he'll definitely go into the water and, like I said, splash around. They're having a debate, you know, somebody must have complained inside. But the only time Oliver has ever gone into the ocean is when we were in Venice Beach, because of the way the waves broke out there. They broke out pretty far, and by the time they came to the water line, shall we say, it was like a lake wave, just a gently lapping current. Now that I actually am able to get into a pool safely without having a reaction from my nerve disease, if I go in the water, he will go in the water. Not the biggest fan, but once he sees how excited I get and how excited everyone gets in cheering him on, then he gets into it a little bit. It's just my fault, because when he was growing up, I couldn't go into a pool most times. It would be a rare occasion. It had to be a 90 plus degree day, and then the pool had to be like bath water, only for the simple fact that the reaction came from getting out of warm water and into a cool atmosphere. I tried, you know, shortly after going into the wheelchair, I tried hydrotherapy. And thank God it was at the hospital, because the hospital in Freehold Center State had this whole giant health annex with probably the best gym in all of New Jersey and all sorts of interesting stuff. But one of the things they do have is, water physical therapy. And I was doing great. I was moving around, feeling halfway decent, and then the problem arose when I got out of the water and into the pool area, because they keep the air conditioning maybe a little bit warmer than normal, but it was still 75 degrees, and the temperature difference sent my body into such shock. Well, I guess the only good thing that happened that day is I didn't have to have the insurance pay for an ambulance, because as I said, we were already at the hospital. They just had to wheel me through a door that doesn't get used very often, and they had to find somebody who had the right key card. But you know, there have been instances during the heat waves. That's when I could really shine. Because not that I don't like pools. Yeah, I'm a fat bastard, but I have one of those rash shirts so that people aren't completely exposed to things that they shouldn't have to be. Either way, when you have heat waves, then I can do it. And he likes it. But this boy definitely loves a good splish splash. A good thing about this is he knows he's just going to be peaceful until he feels some vibes, unless he feels some vibes that I have something going on. Right, little bear? After this, I think we're going to head to one of the 10 Wawas in between here and Jackson. And we're going to have a snack. Probably get a pretzel. And this boy here, my freedom doggo, my little guardian angel, will get a pup cup. He loves pup cups, and he does have a preferred place to get them from. He knows that Wawa pup cups are better than Starbucks pup cups, and that Arby's has the actual best pup cups, because Arby's pup cups come as a pup pack, and you get not only the whipped cream, but they gave you roast beef and turkey. So Oliver knows whenever we go see my doctor in Pennsylvania that he's going to get a wonderful little treat. The only reason I say that is because we don't have an Arby's near us that's convenient. You know, when we go to the beach, I could go a little bit out of the way and it's not quite so bad. But for the most part, we don't have an Arby's close by. We did, but they closed down for poor business. What else? There was a KFC that went in there afterwards. Same thing, they closed after a couple of years. Hey! Freedom doggo, where you going? Come here. I'm gonna give the boy a drink. Now, the other thing we don't have close by is Roy Rogers. We had a couple of them. There used to be one in Freehold town I grew up in. Either way, that closed down when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, actually. And they always had one in Pine Beach, which is a town about 45 minutes or so away from where I lived. From Jackson, it's a little bit closer, but definitely out of the way for a roast beef sandwich. And I got lucky. One of the places I go to regularly down in Brick Township, they opened up a Roy Rogers right next door about 5 years ago at this point. So when I go down there every other month, I can get a roast beef sandwich, and they give meat. They don't have pup cups. They won't do pup cups for some reason, but they will give meat shavings, which is good. I don't know if it's coming through. I don't know if it's coming through on the thing, but every so often an employee is coming up. Hey, trying to see what it is that I'm doing. I'm sure by now at least one of the customers must have said something. I'm not sure if what security said, because obviously he saw me. Obviously he came and spoke to me. But I think every person that works in that place here has come to see me. Which I don't mind. It's their First Amendment right. Today might be a good day when we're done here. Go head down to Seaside Heights. What's up, yo? It's like, what am I, a freak show or something? One thing I have noticed, because as I said, this is a not quite a full military town, but there's a huge military base right next to it. All the different license plates from everywhere. I think the only license plates we haven't seen are Alaska and Hawaii for obvious reasons. Okay, so now that they've all came and checked me out, will they or won't they make the phone call? I mean, this dude's trying to be stuffed. He's like, oh, maybe if I just edge up, he won't see me. It's not like they don't have a CCTV system that I'm probably not on multiple cameras of. Is he on the phone or is he just standing there? I'll tell you what. If the cheesesteak place is open, I'll take you down to Seaside when we're done here. And we'll go play on the beach a little bit. Go play on the sand. I just don't feel like driving to Asbury. You did naughty, but I don't blame you. So really not naughty, but a little bit. A little naughty. That Subaru needs some power steering fluid. Hello, Mr. Poodle. And now this lady is like, I don't know what to do. What should we do? What can we do? his right. That's what it's all about, the First Amendment right. He wants to give me the finger. He might have waved, I don't really know. I just caught out the corner of my eye. The only thing that does scare me about where I'm at, not so much the police or the people, it's the amount of seniors driving. That this town is known for one thing. It has an inordinate amount of places where people have mistaken the brake for the accelerator and driven through the front of buildings. All through Berkeley Township, Toms River, Lakehurst, Manchester. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to say they can't help themselves, but things happen. I get it. I've done it, but I've never driven through the front of a building. It's usually in the middle of nowhere. Playing around trying to get a good launch. So, gotta make sure, because hit me, I'm already in a lot of pain. Between my RSD and the shit where I was attacked at Zenleaf in Neptune. You know, I'm messed up. My shoulder, my neck, my leg. Pain and headaches. Literally, pain and headaches. If anyone knows a good cure for that acid that builds up in your joints that makes you want to crack your knuckles or crack your different joints, what happens is it builds up and then all of a sudden my neck locks up. The only way that I can free my neck up is to let it crack. You know, all I gotta do is turn my head the way that I want it to, past the point where it locks up, and I'm good. But I get a crippling headache afterwards, and I have to go lie down in a dark, cold room. The only thing that is with me with any sort of stimulation is Oliver, and Oliver's just laying by me to make sure that I don't have an RSD flare, because that happened one time. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. But this place is doing some business. I mean, 3 cars in the drive-thru. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Something tells me you probably have to pre-order. They don't want this drive-thru clogging up going through the menu. But the other thing is, like I said, they play games with pricing. So this place is expensive. I haven't checked out the other dispensary in Lakehurst yet, and there's a third one that's going in at some point. There's Earth and Ivy, and this Earth and Ivy place, there's another one up in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Then there's High Profile Dispensary. Now, I haven't been inside this High Profile. I was inside the High Profile that they have in Michigan, and that was pretty good. That also came with Michigan pricing and Michigan products. There's just a lot of things in New Jersey we don't even have the option of, regardless of how much they want to rip you off for it. And then the third one is going to be Puffin. Puffin is another one that has a dispensary, a second dispensary, or actually, I guess their main dispensary in New Brunswick. That's a lot for a little town, but there's countless over 55 senior communities around here. I mean, there's at least 30 that I could think of, each one having several thousand homes. And yeah, the seniors, they're getting high. They realize it's better than drinking. And they're doing their thing. I know this place has drive-thrus. I would have to imagine one or both of them do home delivery. If that's the case, they probably at this point gave a pass to the delivery guys just to enter the various senior communities without having to go through the gate. I haven't checked. I don't know, because it's not relevant to me. I wouldn't order from here, and if I did, I'm pretty sure they won't deliver. And now we got 4 people in line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every dispensary has their man with a gun. But he seems level-headed. I went to Zenleaf last year, and they had a special. They didn't want to honor their special. They threw me out. I didn't protest or contest it. And this big dude who had about, 8-9 inches, and even me being El Gordo, probably at least 100 pounds on me, if not more, came up to a man on crutches and picked him up from behind, choked him, ragdolled him. For no reason. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't try and attack him or, re-enter the dispensary or anything like that. It was a completely unprovoked attack. And he even said it because as he was doing this to me, and as I was trying to get his partner to intervene, because the other guy was there, his partner threatened Oliver, and he told me that he's been looking to hurt somebody. Well, I don't know what makes him decide that a guy in crutches is a good guy to hurt, but look, taking his weapon from him after he said he was going to use it seemed like a completely viable plan, but I couldn't take both their weapons. So I did the next best thing. Excuse me. Called Neptune. And now we're dealing with it the adult way. I just wish I didn't have these freaking headaches, man. The RSD is kind of relatively controlled by now. For the most part, as long as I keep taking my medicine and getting my infusions, I'm okay. But I do hurt myself every once in a while, accidentally bumping my leg, being a little too ambitious, whatever it may be, and I'll set off a flare. Now, if I know that I did something to provoke it, well, it's very easy. I usually have enough time to get someplace where I'm not going to hurt myself and take my medicine, or at least get closer to my medicine, whatever it may be. But the ones that come out of the blue for no apparent reason, I still get them, but they're much less now. Like I said, it's being controlled by my infusions and by my medicine that I take. But that's the reason why Freedom Doggo is here. Well, not the only reason. He was just supposed to be my friend and be my cute little buddy as I was sitting there. Because I had already been in the wheelchair a couple of years at that point. And lo and behold, figured out at 4 months old that he could detect my flare-ups. And it was a matter of getting him trained at that point. So this way, he could respond appropriately, I could respond appropriately. And then from there, we did other things. At home, I have a special, it's Kevlar Nomex, so it's fireproof, bite-proof, bulletproof, that if I'm flaring out, he can go get me this bag, and it has all my medicines that I need. On his service dog harness, normally I clip a similar version of that, but it's got a little less stuff, this way it doesn't hanging off of him. Either way, he retrieves that, and he can pick stuff up for me. Make sure that I don't fall over. The only thing he cannot do is he cannot drive yet. If his legs were longer and his front paws were longer, we'd be able to do that. He's almost at driving age. In a little bit over 2 years, you bet this boy's gonna have a bar mitzvah. But we'll deal with that. As it is right now, it's the 8th of October. So that means 20 days till party time. Party with Oliver. Now, traditionally, we go to Morton's for our birthdays. It just worked out that, my birthday is at the beginning of October, his birthday is at the end, so we got a whole month to go to either Hackensack, King of Prussia, or Atlantic City, because those are the two closest Mortons. Technically, Manhattan is closer, but, well, you gotta pay tolls and bridges and tunnels and parking and everything else. So, who wants to add another $50, $60 just to go to dinner, to have an expensive dinner? I don't mind the expensive dinner. I mind the $50, $60 to go there. But Morton's, and it was suggested that I have an old Homestead gift card that's been just collecting dust, that bite the bullet, pay the tolls, pay the bridge or the tunnel, go to the one in Manhattan, and here's why. They have an old Homestead, which is in Atlantic City, which is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Morton's didn't exist, Old Homestead would be where it's at. The difference being, the one in New York is one of the 5 restaurants authorized by the Imperial Beef Council of Japan to serve real, authentic Kobe A5 Wagyu beef. It's the only place. See, a lot of the places you'll see it where they're charging a premium for it. It's knockoff. It's not the same thing. And yes, it does make a difference. Those cows are basically just fed grain, rice, and beer. I've seen them. They are massaged by geishas. These cows live a pretty good life up until their last moment. And then the way that they do what they do is not stressful, so there's no stress hormones left into the beef as they prep them. There's a reason why legit Kobe beef these days probably what, $38, $39 an ounce, and most restaurants have at least a 6-ounce minimum. So it is what it is, and I don't really care. You know, it's not the cost, but it is noticeably different. So I don't know. The gift card's not going to go bad, so I could do it at any point. And then the other thing is they have these new Korean all-you-can-eat grill spots where they have the grills on the table and everything, which look pretty good. But see, the thing is, Oliver, just like me, is in the computer at Morton's worldwide. I can go to Shanghai, I can go to Sydney, or our local place right here in Atlantic City, which is the one we normally go to. And Oliver's in the computer. Dallas, Texas, a few months ago, you know, they asked for my name because they asked you if you've ever been here before. I have. They asked you your name. They looked up in the computer, and they're like, "Oh, this must be Oliver." And Oliver's being a good little boy, just sitting there perfectly proper with his bow tie on. They hook us up with a booth, and it's the only place where they go out of their way when I sit there and say, "Hey, I'm getting the steak for him. You know, fire it up and bring it as soon as it's ready so it can start cooling off. But if you wouldn't mind, take your chef's knife and basically julienne it and come with very fine shreds." Man, I ended up having to buy the dude who did it a drink because they do it just as good as I would do it at home. Not better, but just as good. You know, the guy takes the time and took 5 minutes to put the care and concern into it. And Oliver eats right off the table. None of this underhanded, you know, you give the boy a $60 steak and make him eat it off the floor. Oh, no, no. Oliver sits right on the seat, right next to his dad, and eats it. I know that's not something you're supposed to do with a service dog, but, well, I can't pay the boy, ever. You know, I can't give him money, so he just lives a very, very good life. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, ding, ding. The Manchester cops. Oh, they're going to get some Mexicano food. It's probably pretty good. You know, people complain about immigrants. I think it just adds to the patchwork of America. And they always bring some good food. Sometimes, yeah, it's weird stuff. Other times, mostly it's good.
Yeah, I gotta walk around. Yeah, so I have an Uber driver. I'm trying to think of everything together. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Short Point's family, I'd say they did okay. You know, they're always allowed to come out and ask what's going on. Of course, it's always, you know, do you need anything? Do you need help? Not how you doing? What's going on? They have a perfect opportunity to promote their business. If they're going to be nice about it and not bother me, I'll give them a platform to advertise. Either way, Short Points Audits, we love you. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive. Don't eat edibles and drive. I would say come to Earth and Ivy if you are in the Lakehurst area and you are looking for adult use marijuana. The way it works out here is that they have different brands than the place down the road, so if one place doesn't have it, the other place will. They do have a drive-through. I'm assuming you pre-order and then pull up. Today it's cash only because the computers are down, but I assume that if the computers aren't down, they'll give you the ability to use a debit card where they'll make $3-4 for the privilege. Either way, be safe. We love you. Stay safe. Short Points Audits, Freedom Doggo, out.